Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Kimberly Sykes doing another segment of My Mom Mondays. And on today's segment of My Mom Mondays, what I just want to talk about is something that I've been doing for this basically this whole month. And on my Instagram page, which you will see below once I finish editing this video, basically what I've been doing is just posting different prominent people in African American history, and not only just the ones that we know, such as the Martin Luther King, the Rosa Parks, the Barack Obamas, the Malcolm X's, but I also been posting the ones that we don't know about, such as the Patricia Bean or something like that. Felice Wheatley, who was one of the first African Americans to get her literature published, and just a few other prominent people. Because I just think like we all as African Americans need to understand our history. The late great Carter G. Woodson, who I'm about to not necessarily quote, but that's some of what he's basically saying, who is the founder of African American History Month. If y'all don't know that, just check my Instagram, it's up there. And what he basically was saying, summing it up, was if we don't know our history, then we don't know where we are. And that is just a prominent, and that is one of the biggest things that I notice about us as a culture. Like with me, I try to pay attention as much as I can to our history and our culture, because knowing who we are takes us to where we're going to. And if we don't know who we are, then how are we going to know what we're getting to? And the thing of it is in schools, especially when you get higher up into education levels, they don't really teach us about our culture. They only teach us watered down things. And even that, like when we talk about American history, Black history is very much, like I said, watered down. And I think we need to put this more into our courses. Why is I'm learning American history and I'm not learning Black History Month involved in that? And the thing of it is, Black History is not only just a month, it's an entire life being. And as Black people, if the school systems can't teach us our own history, we need to take the time to even study our own Black history. And another thing that I feel about that's important about Black history is this: how is we not going to teach us about the effect that racism had on Black people? Because some of the causes and effects to how we shape our lives to this day is based off of racism. We gotta be honest about that. Like I remember a time when I had went to the George Washington mansion, and they used words like servants, unpaid labor, instead of just basically saying they were slaves. See, even from the start of when they perceived this country as the great country, they did not want to use the word such as George Washington having slaves. They didn't want to use that word in connotation. They tried to water it down. And even right now, one of the biggest battles that we have in government is some states are not trying to teach our youth about racism and slavery, where racism and slavery has shaped these kids to this day. Like, how would they know why is they getting pulled over for no apparent reason? How would they know why the interest rates or things don't work in their favor? How do they know why we eat certain foods? Like, one of the things like we gotta understand is like racism has shaped our whole lives as African Americans, from the way that we diet to the way that we treat each other, even to the way that even the jobs that we have and our income stability. And I'm just saying that just because like there needs to be a classified understanding that racism is a part of history, and racism is a part of African American history. So we strip that, we stripping half our culture, stripping half our history. And one of the last things I just want to go over is, like I said, I wanted to go back to what Carter G. Woodson said. If we don't know where we're from or where we're going, or we don't know where we came from, we don't know where we're going. Also, what he's basically saying is, to me, is I could look at a white person, Caucasian person, whatever you want to call it, and if you ask them where they're from, they won't just tell you I'm from North America, or I'm from the USA. They'll tell you my uncle or my great grandfather is from Italy. My great grandmother is from Germany. I'm British. Like, my head is red, so I'm Irish. If you go to an Asian person, you can't call them that's Chinese. If they're Korean, they'll get upset about that. If you go up to a Russian person, you call them Ukrainian. You can't call them that. But if you go up to a black person, African American person, you call them South African or you call them Egyptian. They don't know. We don't know what we're talking about. And basically, what I'm getting at in this is we don't even have a sense of identity of where we're from when everyone else in this world has that sense of identity. And unless we understand that, our self-preservation, our self-respect, and how we feel about ourselves will never last forever. And even if we perceive ourselves and learn more about our culture, if we don't pass this history and this tradition down to the next generation, and then the next generation, there would be a lack of respect for our own culture. And if anything, Black History Month is respect. Black History Month is love. Black History Month is us. And I just want to spread the word that we're great. But until we learn our history, until we understand our history, just like that's how the other races understand theirs, we'll never rise to prominence. And with that being said, y'all, this is Kim Insights doing another segment of My Mind Mondays.